prior to any efforts by Christian missionaries inside of Africa, in this section of Congo, there was nothing of any sort, but you would see things like this. Now, you might make the mistake of thinking that this is an art piece, but in real life, it is not. It is a religious symbol in actual figure, meaning that this figure itself is a spirit. It doesn't represent a spirit, it is in itself a spirit, representing a trinity of sorts. So you have spirit in the classical sense, like the unseen, the other world. Then you have spirit in the physical sense, meaning things that you can touch. And then you have spirit in the behavioral sense, meaning action. So before we go there, let's first ask the question, why are there all these spikes inside of this thing? Well, the reason is because this nkisi, which is a spirit, was to heal people. And when you heal someone, you first make an incantation and then you put in the medicine. So there's a practical version of it, the practice being part of that trinity that I'm talking about. And then there is this putting a nail inside the spirit, which is to heal you. But remember, there's three. So they've addressed it in three different ways. One in the incantation, two in the actual practical medicine, and then three by putting this nail inside of this piece of wood. So the piece of wood would have been completely empty when it first started. Now, why does it matter that this thing is called nkisi? Well, nkisi is only one of the words they use. The one of the most popular words, which is the one that the Portuguese wrote down, is mbungo. And so, as we can see, it is written in Italian or Latin, Deus, meaning God, Zimbungu. This is the word that they were using collectively back in the day. It's a synonym, but you will also be able to tell that they were using Nsigi back then to refer to God or a spirit of some kind. I guess Deus is more of a god, while Nsigi is more of a spirit. Now, if we read from Cambridge University, you can see the Holy Spirit was Moyo Usi Ukisi. The Holy Bible, Nganda a Ukisi, and the translation of priest was the Congolese term for shaman, which was Nganga. And so you can see here there's a direct translation from the Congolese language. In other words, the Christian that was brought there was it I guess I use the word compromised to the ways of the Congolese. And this is the same in Japan. You see there that in Japan they use the word kami for spirits in Christianity, and they use several other Japanese words that are usually used in Shintoism and in Buddhism, but they transfer it. It's not a overhaul, it's not a getting rid of. And a lot of the time, like you see there in the Holy Bible, Nganda Ukisi, the meaning of that is a charm of the spirits. So the Bible itself is considered a charm, which would be, considered bad by Christian standards, but it's considered okay because it's like introducing Christianity to certain people. And because of this, the Congolese people, at least at this time, at least for a long time, did not forget their religion. The thing that sucks is that we know that the religion has changed a lot, even within the natives. And the way we know this is because it's written down in European texts how it was practiced. And they actually have the original wooden dolls in their museums which have all of these writings that go with them. But the people in Congo, for the most part, have forgotten their rituals. Congo and Angola have forgotten their rituals. And remember, the writings told us that not only would these people praise these things, they would throw themselves to the floor praying to them. This was also similar in ancient Egypt. If we want to read, we can get to it. But something you'll notice about ancient Egypt when they write about it is that there's a lot of violent movements when they discuss the religion of the ancient Egyptians. But this is just typical of Africa. There's a lot of violent movements as opposed to a lot of places. I mean, if you look at Buddhism and stuff like that, where it's all about elegant movements. It's all about, you know, trying to preserve religion through some kind of super organized form. But remember, chaos is part of religion in Africa. There's a balance between chaos and order. Now, obviously, the word Nganga is related to the word Nyanga, which is a Zulu word for shaman, which is probably very popular. It also goes with the word sangoma, which sangoma has to do with music, and this is irrelevant to this now, but also music had to do with a lot of how you get rid of things, which is why it is described in ancient Egypt that a lot of what was going on every day during religious ceremonies was dancing, which surprised the ancient Greeks and Roman writers. Outside of the animal headed nkisi, there is the hunter nkisi, which is used to defend against evil spirits and also as medicine. But this one is in the form of a human. You see that little thing in the middle of his chest? That's where you put in the medicine. And of course, the nails represent healing. So you heal, put in a nail, heal, put in a nail. It also probably represents letting out of blood because bloodletting was a very big thing within the Bantu people. But that's a guess on my part. Now, this is supposed to be a hunter. So these are the hunter versions of the Ngisi, and there are several types, ones that don't even have this type of name. After this, I'm going to make a video comparing the two religions, the religion of the ancient Egyptians with Ma'at, meaning the law through the female, and this religion, the religion of the Congo, and how the similarities are even written down several times over from different factions and even amaze the people on how similar they are.